Hello. Welcome to recap of the movie The Hunt. Movie is an American dark comedy, full of memes and satisfying actions. Movie is about how every year a bunch of rich people kidnap normal people, to hunt them for sport. A movie starts with a woman chatting with her rich friends on the phone where they mention the hunt that is about to happen and quickly forwards to the scene on the private plane. A nice and polite steward asks his flight attendant if he would like to eat some caviar. The man is probably used to getting what he wants, so he wants to eat fish and grilled vegetables. Although starting a grill on an airplane is not allowed, he then gets satisfied with a glass of champagne. Steward comes back, and while she is pouring his glass with champagne, one of the kidnapped men comes inside and surprises them. Because he should not wake up yet, one of the kidnappers tries to call him down so he can buy himself time to think about what he will do. He asks Randy to lay down on the floor, because he is a big guy and this will be an easier way to control him. Then he uses a pen to stab him in the neck. He probably hits his neck vein, which causes him to bleed severely. Randy, the victim, grabs a bottle and hits the guy who stabbed him, breaks the bottle and wants to use it as a weapon. All of a sudden a woman called Athena comes from behind and stabs him with the shoe straight into the eye. They drag Randy to the other area of the plane, where he is still alive and tries to get help from an unconscious woman, but he dies a few moments later. The following scene shows the same woman waking up in the forest with a sex toy in her mouth. She sees another woman and approaches her. She is doing some weird stuff at first sight, but if we look closely we can see that she used a pin from her name badge, rubbed it in her hair and put it on a leaf, so it would show her the direction of the north. When she leaves, she sees another man and goes in his direction. She comes to a meadow, where they all met together. There is a big box in the middle. Angry guy goes straight to the box and tries to open it, while everyone else hides. When he opens a box, a pig comes out. When goes close to the box, he sees something inside and pulls out a well-designed wardrobe full of weapons. They all come to the box and a woman finds a key, so they can take off that sexy thing in their mouth. They all arm themselves, when we can hear an explosion in the back which signalizes the start of the hunt. Hunters fire the first shot, so everyone gets in cover. Except Blondie, which does not stay low enough, so the bullet hits and kills her first. Followed by a guy with a Tommy gun which runs straight to death while shooting like they used to in World War I. A woman then runs through the whole field and falls into the trap hole. Our main character, of course a hero, runs to her and lays down on the floor, so there is no way that the hunters can see him or shoot him, because of him staying so low. Although there is no way that woman survives such severe damage, he still pulls her out and starts running to the woods. But they only make a few steps before he steps on the mine, and they get blown up, which brings us to the point that he probably wasn't the main character. Some of the hunted group members run and meet at the fence where they climb it over, except for one guy that was too slow and gets hit by an arrow. Same as Tommy gun guy, he also decides to die at the beginning of the movie, so although he doesn't see the enemy, starts running and shoots into the void. While running he gets hit by 2 more arrows and falls to the floor. The enemy decides to finish him with a grenade, but the first grenade doesn't go off because they forget to pull out the pin. So they throw another one, which explodes and kills the guy on the floor. The other 3 escape and get to a gas station. When they enter they see an old couple who pretends that they work there. They ask where they are and try to call 911. The guy on the phone line is not a cop. He tells him that help is on the way. Meanwhile the woman in the back cannot resist eating a muffin in the store. A few moments later she finds out that it is poisoned, but it is too late because she already has an attack. When the other 2 guys try to help her, the old couple already makes a next move, puts a gas mask on and throws a gas bomb on the floor, making them unable to move. This gives an advantage to the old couple, so they easily kill them all. As soon as they are dead, they start cleaning. They suck out the gas with a pre-installed vent, drag the bodies into the other room and clean the blood from the floor. 5 minutes later a girl named Crystal comes to the gas station. She acts very dumb and lost, but in reality she is just being careful. Crystal wants to buy a pack of cigarettes, but an old lady makes a mistake, so Crystal jumps over. That happens because
cigarettes in Arkansas only cost $6. You fucked up, bitch!
She searches the gas station just to be sure there is nobody else that would try to kill her. She then goes out to continue her trip, when she sees a car and for no reason checks a license plate. She finds out that they sticked on fake number plates and finds a plate with the initial letters HR, which means Hrvatska in their language. She then tries to use the car, but sees a wire that is connected to the door. She follows the wire and finds a bomb that would explode if she tried to open the doors. This makes her upset, because she won't be able to drive home. She then hides behind the tree and listens to the radio, where she hears how the hunters are talking about each other. Because they can't reach the old couple by the radio, they send a drone to see what is happening. All of a sudden Ryan, a hunted man, comes and shoots down a drone. Crystal tells him that it was a mistake that he shot down that drone, because now they know their exact location. While they are walking, we can see that Crystal is more of a silent character while Gary talks all the time. He asks her if she wants to know his theory. She replies with,
Not really.
but he tells her anyway. All of a sudden, Crystal decides to take a pee. Gary thinks this is his best chance to introduce himself. But Crystal replies with,
Shut the fuck up, Gary.
She hears something in the distance. She uses her G-spot as a detector of vibrations of the upcoming train. For no reason they start running way before the train even appears, but somehow they both manage to jump on the ongoing train. Group of immigrants come out of their place where they were hiding. A man starts talking in language that only he understands, but Ryan's reaction is,
Oh, come on.
because he doesn't believe they are immigrants. Harry starts counting down. Just before he says 3, the train stops. They all hide. Crystal takes a peek, and sees an army checking the cargo on the train. The army has dogs, so there is no way they could just stay on the train and hide. One of the soldiers spots refugees, and tells them to come out. The soldiers shout only one word, Ide, which means let's go in Croatian language. Gary decides to step to one of the soldiers to tell him he is American and he should treat him as a friend. He also tries to explain what is happening, but the soldier doesn't understand him. As both soldiers walk away, Mohammed speaks out something in English language which disturbs Harry. But when he calls him a friend, Harry gets super angry and takes Mohammed on the floor. Harry doesn't take a second thought before he pulls the pin and puts a grenade into his pants. Nobody gets hurt except Mohammed, who gets blown on the pieces. Harry runs away and only Crystal gets taken to a refugee camp, where she gets interrogated by a Croatian called Dino. Dino asks her how she got here, but Crystal doesn't know, so she says it doesn't matter and he should call American Embassy. He asks her if she is being hunted like Don, so they bring Don, who is also a victim. Believing them both, they call an American Embassy. Meanwhile, Don and Crystal go for a warm meal in the camp, probably a dish called golas. Again, Crystal is the silent character, while Don doesn't stop talking. As they sit on the bench, a car with American flags drives into the camp, making Don think they are both rescued. While they are driving, the guy who picked them up starts asking questions about how they came there and why they picked them for a target. He is asking the same questions so intensively that he becomes suspicious. Crystal tucks her legs, turns to him and kicks him with both legs straight to the face. She puts it into reverse and drives straight over his head, killing him instantly. She steps out of the car, takes the gun and opens the trunk, where she finds Harry with a knife in his forehead. In the car they also find a box full of money and a map of where they were headed to. Don is happy that they got a car, so he says that they should both go home, but Crystal says no. So she tells him a story about Jack Rabbit, but we don't have time for a story in the story, so let's continue. The next scene shows kidnappers talking like they are on vacation about everyday stuff. They start to ask themselves where Oliver is, the guy who should have brought Don and Crystal. One of the elite decides that he must go to piss, so he gets out, puts on a headlamp and goes to Marka 3. So when he starts pissing, Don distracts him, so Crystal comes from behind and cuts his neck. The rest of the hunters are waiting inside when they hear a sound of something walking above them. They quickly run on their positions as they were trained to. A few seconds pass when a pig jumps into the bunker. They all start panic shooting. Martin turns to his colleague and says that he almost shot him, when ironically gets a bullet into his head a second after. It turns out it is Crystal. She starts shooting on everyone, disarming one guy and hitting the other. A woman with a bow misses her shot, so Crystal takes a second arrow and stabs her in the abdomen. She goes to a window, killing the guy that she only shot in the ass. The Sergeant Dale attacks her from behind, but he is shot and weakened from fighting before. Crystal easily takes care of him with a pipe that she hangs on. When everyone is disarmed and dead, she takes a gun from the floor. Finally, Ben comes in and Crystal thanks him for all the help. Ben replies that he indeed did help by dropping the pig. When all goes silent, Athena calls Don by his name. Don states that he is not one of them. Don tries to pull the trigger, but Crystal is faster and kills Don. Crystal sits by Sergeant Dale. She asks him where she can find Athena. He gives her the address, and she kills him. Crystal gets to the mansion where Athena asks her to put the gun in the box or she will blow her up. She enters the mansion, which by the way is owned by my uncle. She steps into the modern and well-equipped room. We can hear calm music from a background, stepping up the tension. She follows the sound of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. When she gets to the kitchen, there she sees Athena. When Athena finishes her speech, Crystal decides that is enough of talking, so she grabs a knife and swings into Athena. The fight starts. Crystal throws a few things in the kitchen, including champagne that Athena saves from dropping on the ground. Athena sees that the things are not going by the book and she is losing the fight, so she grabs an old shotgun and starts shooting into Crystal. While she is reloading, Crystal surprises her from the corner and takes her gun. She then quickly jumps on the hanging rope, but the rope doesn't hold her in the air, so she falls on her back. Meanwhile, Athena grabs a knife and stabs Crystal with it. Then we see some fight going from one room to another, coming back into the kitchen where Athena stabs Crystal with a blender knife. It looks like Athena is winning, but Crystal turns the situation around when she stabs her back with the same blender knife she had in her stomach. They both lay down on the floor, where Athena has some last words asking if she got the right crystal. Athena dies. Crystal sees a jackrabbit and that gives her motivation to get up. She takes a bite of toast and closes her wound with a blowtorch. She takes a shower and gets dressed up. She takes champagne and a pistol. I think we all agree she looks like a sexy badass in this scene. She walks to the private plane and explains that she killed the Fookers that they worked for and she wants to go home now. She invites the hostess to sit and enjoy champagne and caviar with her. She takes the whole bottle and starts drinking. Hostess asks her,
How is it?
and she replies with,
It's fucking great.